Kuhn is the fullback with the first and goal. Kuhn gets the call. Pyle trying to make his way in for the touchdown. What a great second effort.
Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the here comes the y'all don't really want it like that. I said so. I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like blood. So ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful.
Wolfpack, what is going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Roto Street. And I think, CJ, I'm not sure what the outfit is over there. Spooky season is upon us, and so are the spooky outfits. I am here, of course, for your son. You see viewers just drop out immediately as we get live here, and they realize who they're getting their questions answered by. But we are here for your Week 8 Fantasy Football Tailgate, answering all your questions, covering a lot of the news that has come out between now and the last couple days. Make sure you have your lineups fully set, fully ready to go. We are both fresh off the same wedding last night, so we've both probably been in better shape. But CJ, how are you doing today?
Doing great. I feel wonderful. Still probably just riding the buzz into the next day.
The crash awaits you. Trust me, it comes and it's not fun. Had the bagel world to absorb some of this, but yeah, we're hurting over here. But we are always here for you guys and your sit start questions. So get them on in, Wolfpack. We, as always, will cover some quick Thursday night football takeaways, all the news you need to know, and then the last 2 hours or so are just here for your questions and whatever we can answer. Congratulations again, though, to the Steph Connery and Nick Tanzella on the wedding. It was a great time for sure. Fun to officiate a wedding for the first time. It was an honor. So that was great.
Unbelievable, by the way.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
Really good. Not just blowing you, but it was good now.
Well, I appreciate the blow, and whether it's delivered intentional or not, it's great. So thank you. No, it was a blast to be up there. It was an honor to be up there. So Wolfpack, get those questions on in. One easy way to make sure you jump the line and get up is to support the site and also jump the line. So we have an early super chat before we even get live here. Some pounds from across the pond here from Ryan Hemmings. How can we help you out, Ryan?
Hey, Hemmings should be at the game today. I don't know where across the pond he is, but
yeah, seriously.
I don't know if anyone wants to go. I don't know if anyone wants to go to that game today. I can't believe what we send over there. But
right.
Full PPR, Swift or Sanders, and then the same for Schultz or Taysom.
So I'm never really a Sanders guy, and I know this year of all years that's kind of hurting me because he has been good. He's been the lead clear back throughout the entire year, right around 65% or so of the snaps, of the workload, as compared to last year when it was much more inconsistent. I still really like Swift when he's in my lineup. So that's how I kind of feel about him. The upside is so high, especially in a full PPR too. That almost makes him that much sexier at that point. So I'm leaning Swift. I think this game shoots out, and I know the way you attack Miami is much more through the air than through the run, but Swift's game is much more through the air than the ground too. So I really prefer Swift here to Sanders. I end up clocking in at 16 on Swift, 19 on Sanders. So it is close. They're in the same tier, but I'm leaning Swift here. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I like the talent more. We're kind of the same boat with Sanders. I'll always hate him. I'll always sit him if I can. And this time I definitely sit him. And then Schultz, I mean, I'm just going to keep trotting him out myself. Whether it's a goose egg or it's 7 points, he's been in my lineup all year. So.
Yes, I get that, and the PPR definitely helps Schultz. Dak being back, he's had the two best games, obviously, the season with his boy Dak, peppering him. I actually lean Taysom here. I think Juwan Johnson, he's questionable. We'll see if I don't know if that actually matters or not here. I do feel like the upside of Taysom is just too much to bench. Schultz is getting back on track. There's a higher floor there for sure with the PPR settings especially, but I just love Taysom, like the upside that very few, only really Andrews and Kelsey can match at the tight end possession in terms of like 3 touchdown potential with him. It's not a tough matchup at all. In fact, I think the Raiders are giving up, I was going to say the most points to tight end. That doesn't really matter because it's not like Taysom Hill's a tight end. It's just how he somehow is marked. He's just a move around, do it all, but he's also just not it's not a good defense. So I have Taysom Hill at 5, Dalton Schultz at 8. And I feel like the ceiling of Taysom is just too high to bench. Given that, this isn't – Schultz does look better with Dak, but it's not like last year's Schultz where it was a locked in 8 catches, 70 yards, and often a touchdown too.
Yeah,
So,
it seems like his PCL is like gone too. Like he's every other play is hurt. Like
exactly. And like there's like is a high floor you'd think with Schultz, but there is that lower floor too of the injury lingering. Like saw him get bent in a really weird way last week too, and it looks like he's going to suit up here. But there's just a lot of risk to Schultz. So now that the floor isn't even that stable, let's go for the higher ceiling. Let's go for Taysom Hill. So I'm going Swift. I'm going Taysom there. Thank you, Ryan, for the support from across the pond. Hopefully you're live at the game while tuned in here. And Wolfpack, if you don't mind, a free way to support us, if you don't want to super chat, is just that thumbs up button. Help us get out to more people. You hit them early in the show. It does get us out and continue to help grow the Wolfpack, help take us to the moon. Guaranteed answers again for super chats and call-ins. We typically do get through every question, but it often comes at a rapid fire pace towards the end of the show where we have like 50 questions and 10 minutes to get through them all. So if you want an in-depth answer, you want to talk with us, call-ins or super chats can get you that. Let's chat about some quick takeaways from Thursday Night Football. I think the biggest thing was the injuries. It was a bloodbath of a game in terms of injuries. Mark Andrews left early. Gus Edwards left early. Rashad Bateman, a goose egg in the lineups, brutal right there for you. So a lot of players, particularly on the Ravens side, leaving early. But the Bucks did lose Shaq Barrett for the season. I know it doesn't impact fantasy necessarily, but a brutal loss there too. So injuries to me were the biggest takeaway from Thursday Night Football. Other than that, it was Brady just kind of sucks. Like, do you go back to him in fantasy at this point, CJ? That's when people telling me they want to drop him. And like, I don't know. I can't necessarily tell people they have to keep Brady.
I mean, maybe it's now he has a post-divorce brain. And maybe actually, I mean, what I was thinking, if we knew that was going to drop the next day on Friday, the Ravens were like the lock of the century on Thursday.
Yeah.
His brain just wasn't into it at all. And I don't know. Maybe he's clearer now mentally, but no, I
it's
want
scary. I wouldn't necessarily drop him, but I have a hard time starting him until we see otherwise. I mean, he is a human being. He's going through a divorce. Like, that's going to actually impact how you do your job, no matter what your job is, but particularly on a football field where you have humongous men hurling themselves at you. Like, that's going to be a problem. So I'm worried about like just him as a human being. I'm also worried about him as a fantasy asset for sure. I hope Tom gets out of this funk. I mean, 325 and a touchdown was one of the better days he's had in a while, and that's just telling you.
Yeah, but their run game is so inefficient. It sucks.
I know.
Like they can't do anything right.
They really can't. And speaking of run games, Kenyon Drake on the other side of the ball did have 62 yards, a touchdown as well, vulturing it from Gus Edwards. But Gus Edwards did leave the game in the third quarter. He had 11 carries and 65 yards before departing. Looked good. It had a couple really nice runs where he like bounced it around to the outside. Like Gus looks really spry. So it's a hamstring tweak. Given that they have a bye coming up, not next week, but the week after, I'm imagining Gus, Andrews, and Bateman, all the guys that got dinged up, there's a good chance we don't see them this week. A lot of teams, when you have that bye looming, they'll rest and get the extra time, which would make, we'll talk about the waiver wire later tonight with the truth. Isaiah Likely, though, 6 catches, 77 yards, a touchdown. Shout out our Everett boy, local product from Mass. You love to see them performing at this level. And he was a preseason stud. He's we talked about him in the preseason shows as the really only tight end handcuff that actually exists out there that's worth rostering. At this point, you probably had cut him if you did draft him because it was nothing behind Mark Andrews. But if Andrews misses any time, and it looks like that could be likely, I'll probably have Likely in my top 12 tight ends or so if Mark Andrews misses. Likely, baby. So I like him quite a bit as a waiver wire pickup. Julio Jones, of course, gets the touchdown, 21 yards, 2 catches. When I have Godwin and Evans starting in one lineup, just like, of course, I can't get the touchdown. It has to go to Julio, the useless one that can't stay on the field. And Rachaad White was involved again. I still continue to promote this guy as the best handcuff in fantasy. He's only rostered in about 29% of leagues. We obviously did not get an injury to Fournette this time around, but just good practice. And even today, like if there's some bench tryouts, Zamir White for Josh Jacobs, things of that nature, where stashing the handcuff, getting ahead of it while you cut your kicker and wait till like Sunday night football kickers. Crosby's out there in a bunch. Monday night, you got Cade York in there. Not all settings allow that. Like I know ESPN, once you have a guy on your bench, it's locked. You can't do anything about it. But on Yahoo and Sleeper, most leagues, the default allows you to kind of churn that roster, churn the bench if they don't play. So I've been doing that all year. Bass might even be out there in leagues because they had the bye last week. That can give you the opportunity to do some bench tryouts. It didn't obviously work out for Rachaad White on Thursday in terms of no injury to Fournette, but still remaining involved. Still a guy I'm holding in all my leagues.
Still scored, I think, like 7 or 8.
What'd you say?
He still scored like I think 7.5 points, at least in half PPR.
Yeah, I did all right. So yeah, he's just more active, more involved. I think he's had 7 touches or more in 3 or 4 straight weeks. So he's getting there. He'll and again, if anything happens to Fournette, which he's missed time in every single year, could pick up. So we'll just talk about a couple quick waiver wire guys.
There was Rap sheet just tweeted about Gus Edwards. He said the hamstring he suffered on Thursday is described to be minor. If he misses time, it may just be a week.
Perfect. So yeah, expect to be without him for that bye week, as we mentioned, looming just 2 weeks away. But that's good news for you Gus Edwards owners out there. It's not going to be a lengthy one. I'm looking around at the rest of my takeaways. Like Cade Otton was 2 catches for 15 yards. I know I recommended him as a potential streamer this week. He did have a potential touchdown in the fourth quarter, nullified on a holding penalty. It was just like, we're going to get there. It's going to look great. I'm going to be a genius for my Cade Otton call. But nope. Of course, again, Julio Jones, the only one to score a touchdown there. So that's all I've got from Thursday. I'm pretty sure that covers most of it, right, CJ?
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the game was kind of gross.
Yeah. Like even Lamar, I don't know what his final fantasy stats were, like 238, 2 touchdowns, 43 yards on the ground. So he probably got you like 18 or 20, but we haven't seen those first couple of weeks, Lamar was breaking fantasy and
your little Instagram post, you look like a fool for 2 weeks, but now you may be right.
I was just going to say on YouTube, the amount of hate I was getting after 2 weeks, which deservedly so. He put up like back-to-back 40-point days and everybody, this is the dumbest take I've ever seen on YouTube, ever posted. Like Lamar Jackson, the most overrated quarterback. You're the most overrated, like, I don't know, bullshit stuff. Great. But right now, I don't know that the call looks so bad. He's had 13 or fewer points in 3 of his last 4 weeks. Like, we'll see. We'll see where we get on Lamar Jackson. Obviously, again, such elite upside, but a little sketchy. I do want to shout out, of course, Devin Duvernay did get a touchdown. He gets that, like, really Deebo-light type of usage with 4 catches, 31 yards, 2 rushes then, 33.
Bateman fucked me so hard on Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, if Bateman misses again, I do think Duvernay get a lot of really the biggest takeaways from this game were injuries and the waiver wire products that now will emerge from it. A lot of the top Week 9 waiver wire will likely be from this game, including Isaiah Likely, including Kenyon Drake, if Edwards is going to miss that time, including Duvernay, who got dropped in a bunch of leagues. But if Bateman is going to be out, he's going to be in a great spot there. And Rachaad White remains one of the elite holds as a handcuff. So that's all the Thursday news. Again, mostly actionable takeaways here with the waiver wire stuff. Let's dive into the Week 8 news. There's not a ton, but there's definitely some actionable stuff here that we want to dive into. Ryan Tannehill is going to miss Week 8. That was officially established yesterday, which means Malik Willis will be out there. And that means we've got a Konami potential. I have him right at quarterback 16, just below Justin Fields. I almost want to swap him because the matchups are just like that much rough, but we've seen great numbers from Justin Fields in 3 straight weeks. Like, it's more known. I feel like if I was going into battle and I had to choose one or the other, I'd probably go with Fields. Been the quarterback 4 over the last 3 weeks. Been a top 12 guy. Get a little clap from the Buckeyes over there. Easiest, best bet in the world yesterday, by the way, was they went down a live bet. We were in the bachelor party suite drinking some beers, and we saw that Ohio State was suddenly getting points after Penn State scored a touchdown. We all hammered it.
Oh, when they went down like 16-14.
Exactly. Yeah. It was like Ohio State +2 or something. We're like, oh, they're going to do
like
so we took the money line. And
they scored like 3 touchdowns in like 30 seconds.
It was like that. Exactly. So easy bet right there for you and your Buckeyes.
I cannot wait. I'm already like dreaming of this when the Patriots are on they're like going to draft 6 overall probably in like 2024 because they suck. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be on the board and they're going to take like fucking Billy Waters from Worcester State, like nose guard at like 6 overall. It's going to play the shit out of me. I'm already thinking of it that they're going to pass on Marvin Harrison, even though he's like generational. So,
yeah, he's ridiculous. I don't know how we got there, but back to Justin Fields is how we got there. I'd rather have Justin Fields as a streamer than Malik Willis, but they're right neck and neck, like 16, 17. So if you're desperate for a quarterback, let us know. Malik Willis certainly brings that like insane rushing ability. We saw it throughout the preseason there. It does look like we have a couple super chats, actually. So I'm going to clear those out first and then get to the rest of the news. So let us dive right into those. Thank you guys so much for the support. Here, starting with Derek Just.
Yep. Full PPR, Ayuk or Lockett of 4 running backs starting. Had Fournette on Thursday. My other ones are Chubb, Pollard, Ken Walker. He's sitting Judy.
Ooh, Judy having that touchdown there. And just for the record, Derek, I probably would have recommended sitting Judy. It's been so inconsistent. Yeah, he's having a good day today, but that's not something I'm trusting anybody tied to Russell Wilson. I have Sutton going right now, and it just makes me sick every time. So out of these ones, I would go Ayuk over Lockett with the news that DK Metcalf will be playing today now. I think otherwise Lockett may have been the smash, but no Deebo. It's kind of the flip now. No Deebo for Ayuk. He's going to be a target hog. He's already seen 11 targets in back-to-back weeks. I've been a top 25 receiver back-to-back weeks. And it's a great matchup. The Rams are giving up the third most points to wide receivers. I like it. I like this spot for Ayuk a lot. Lockett's banged up, and he just kind of stinks when he's hurt. He's that type of guy that toughs out every injury, and good for him. I respected it, as a teammate. But as a fantasy manager, I don't like this. I'd rather you sit, get yourself healthy, and be back to that dangerous threat you've always been. So I'm going to go Ayuk over Lockett here. What are your thoughts on that?
Definitely Ayuk. Yeah, I love him without Deebo. I feel like he's a roster lock this week.
Perfect. And then 4 running backs starting had Fournette. Yeah, I mean, you got the touchdowns. We did okay. Chubb, Pollard. I mean, good God. I think you're in a great spot here, Derek, whether you get this call with Ayuk or Lockett right or wrong. I mean, yes. I do think Ayuk's the play.
He also said in a message below that he has Adams as the other receiver. So.
Oh, my God, yeah. What a squad. So I think you got to be feeling pretty damn good there, Derek, with those backs. Pollard, top 6 play this week with no Zeke. We'll get to him in a second. But you got to feel great about that. Walker, always a top 10 play from here on out. Fournette's your worst running back, and Fournette's still a top 10 guy most weeks. So that's a damn good team right there, Derek. Thank you so much for the support. I know you're regular with the super chats. It is so greatly appreciated. So thank you, Derek.
And then Kevin Rice, Chargers bye, and DK got me in a weird spot. Wandale, DK, Pittman, Henderson, London, sit 2 of us.
Weird. Oh, that's weird. I don't know what to make of DK. And so he's going to be some of the news we talk about. Some of the biggest things coming out last night was DK's actually good to go today. He feels like he's one of those guys that's like, DK's in your lineup, you got to play him. But I don't know. I'm a little bit worried today about DK. What if he aggravates something and limps off? He already hasn't had the greatest ceiling this year. So, I don't know. The ceiling's definitely, of course, always with DK. Nobody has quite as much upside in this lot of players as Metcalf. Then you got Pittman with the quarterback change with Ellinger. You got Henderson, a locked-in 20 touches that he'll do just about nothing with, but he'll probably get you 11 points. London's the easy one that I can just kind of be like, nah, not going to do that. They want to throw it 10 times a game, if that. So even though he's in a good spot, it's a nice rebound to get his season back on track. I think he's the first one I eliminate here. I don't know. This one has me in a pretzel, Kevin. A weird spot is a great way to describe it. Because I really like Wandale. I mean, 27.5% target per route rate is top 10 in the league. He looks real explosive out there. The Seahawks is not a bad matchup. I love him at 4,700 on DraftKings. It's just also can I really sit DK for Wandale Robinson? I don't know. Maybe I'm just going Pittman and Henderson. I lock in Pittman. I know Ellinger is a difference, but Ellinger at least throws it deep. I don't know that it could get he was getting a lot of targets. Pittman was with Matty Ice. They'll probably run heavier with Ellinger. All that to say, though, it's still Pittman as the top of this tree. So I think I'm going to go Pittman and then maybe just take the 20 or so touches of Henderson and play it safe. DK just feels a little scary.
Henderson's kind of banged up.
He was sick. No, he missed practice from an illness. But he's fully healthy, ready to go. No Akers today. And then Akers is going to rejoin the team if he doesn't get traded. So that's maybe they just ride Henderson today, give him that featured type back workload against a defense that's really been crumbling due to injuries these last couple of weeks with the 49ers. That game also I feel like that's going to be a hideous one. I think my final answer is Pittman Henderson. I don't know. CJ, do you have any leanings on these two guys? What 2 you'd pick here?
I want to get Wandale in there, but I don't know. Pittman kind of scares me. Ellinger isn't a great quarterback. He's not a great thrower of the ball. I like him in fantasy as a runner and everything else, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to make Pittman a receiver 1. Really,
I don't know either. 6th round QB. I mean, yeah, it's a little nerve wracking.
He's not a great thrower at all. I think I'd lean Wandale and Henderson myself. But
Wandale and Henderson? Oh, boy. It's a tough one. It's PPR, too, which is tricky because, like, I do like Wandale a lot in PPR, given how high he's getting targeted. I could see a nice, like, 7 for 80, and maybe he scores, too. I'm starting Wandale in just about every league I'm in. So you can ride with me. Yeah, I guess I might just bump DK down. Like, my gut reaction to DK was like, oh, a top 20 receiver. Put him right around Terry McLaurin, Devonta Smith. But the more I think about it, it's like I don't want to put him in my lineup if I don't have to. So I'm going to bump DK down to like 32. And then the fact that I'm talking about Wandale above him right now and above Drake London. Oh, man. Oh, so we got to sit to, not start to. So you know what? Let's sit DK. Let's sit London then. That makes it easier for us. Like we can get our boy Wandale in. The hangover fog is strong today. But thank you, Kevin. Kevin texted me to clarify. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm going to sit London, DK, full PPR, and roll out Pittman, Henderson, Wandale. What about you? Would you go London, DK over Pittman, or London over Pittman?
I'm sitting DK this week.
You're sitting London. DK, and then who's your other one? London or Pittman? London. You're sitting those two. Okay.
I'm done with anything that has to do with Mariota and Arthur.
We got to the right place eventually. Yeah, exactly. That it's just too up and down, too inconsistent there. Like the fact that they are down 14 points and still only throw it 14 times, it's like, how could you ever have an upside scenario at this point? There's no ceiling games anymore.
And what's also bananas is that they could be first place in their division today.
That division's such a joke. Most of the whole West is a fucking joke. Coming into the year, everybody thought the West was going to be terrifying in AFC and NFC. Seahawks are on the top of the NFC. Like the AFC West, other than the Chiefs, is a complete and utter shitstorm. Like even the Chargers are just a crazy, crazy year. And Derek just tossed his $2 to let us know he has Adams as his other receiver. So just an absolute monster team from Derek Justin. Thank you so much for the support, Derek. It's greatly, greatly appreciated.
Captain Quint, brutal options at running back with Connor out, Chase Edmonds, Blackshear, Keontae Ingram.
Oh, boy. Captain Quint, we are dumpster diving this week, aren't we? So I'm going to toss another one in here for you. What about Dontrell Hilliard? Is he out on your waiver wires? So I'll give you my answer for these three. If it's PPR, I would love to know the scoring, but I don't actually even hate Blackshear. For those of you who might be like, who the fuck is this guy that sounds like a pirate? He is actually on the Panthers, and Juba Hubbard's out today. So, yes, Foreman's going to get featured, but Blackshear is kind of the quote-unquote pass-catching compliment here. And the Falcons is a good matchup. So, like, that's one you could see popping up on Red Zone and having field day, Scott Hansen. And this guy's name is Blackshear, like getting into the end zone today, getting in on the action against the pathetic Falcons.
On Halloween, no less.
Yeah. So if I have to go with one of these three, I'm probably going Blackshear. I did like the, Keontae Ingram saw about 40% of the work, but I think Darrell Williams might be back. He's questionable heading into today. I'm not sure what the final ruling is on him, but if he's back, I would expect him and Benjamin to be the main two there. And then Chase Edmonds just not doing anything. So I'm going to go Blackshear if it's those three, but I do have Dontrell Hilliard above all of them. And the reason if I'm doing a Hail Mary to this level, I'd rather get a guy that, maybe he can score and just and Hilliard can. He's an explosive guy. I'm a big fan of Hilliard, the player, when he gets his touches. We know, Derrick Henry is going to go crazy today. But maybe he goes crazy and then they burn the clock with Hilliard late. Maybe he just catches one. He's an explosive guy when he gets into space. Plus he does come with that handcuff with benefits type of upside, where if something tragic does happen to Derrick Henry, you've just got yourself the best waiver wire pickup of the week too. So if I'm going to go to a situation like this, a complete Hail Mary, give me the one that is just actual has some juice. Darrell Williams still a game time decision. I just checked the latest news. So we'll have to keep tracking that because Ingram would get a little bit better as a play here. But yeah, I'm going to go Dontrell Hilliard if he's somehow out there for your league. If not, pray for Blackshear, I guess, to get in the end zone. I'm going to have to make sure I have Blackshear ranked because I have been thinking about him. I don't think I even have him ranked right now, though. But I would have him above the other options. What about you, CJ? Do you feel any different about this pile of shit?
No, I'll ride with you here. I'll let you take that question.
I mean, do you know anything about Blackshear? I just know what team he's on and what his role could be. I don't know much about him as a player.
I think he was at Virginia Tech. Honestly, I don't really remember. He was never like anything. Yeah, he did go to Virginia Tech. No,
Nice.
he was never really anything. I don't really have any information on that.
Yeah, there's actually not much out there.
We had a similar question. We had a similar question on Instagram that was just as hideous. This guy goes, Alan, he goes, took a big blow at running back, and these are my top options. Ty Johnson, Ronnie Rivers, or Raheem Blackshear.
Who are these ghouls and goblins coming out for Halloween time?
Ronnie Rivers is a fake. Ronnie Rivers is a fake name. Like that's like a created player.
Yeah, Ronnie Rivers, exactly. That's like NFL Street. Like you make a player, Ronnie Rivers. Sounds like a wrestler. So Blackshear of these options, but I would go Hilliard if he's out there. Alrighty, Ryan Heggs.
Well, it's the softest troll ever. He's out today. So would you go Irv, Knox, or Gesicki?
Has Waller been officially ruled out? I know that was a game time decision.
Yep, he's out.
Okay. Actually, I might have liked all these options above the soft cholo. Anyways, my gut's saying Irv. Just he's got that Arizona matchup, and I know he's only about a 65% snap player with Johnny Munt. Of course, you got to get Johnny Munt in there when you have him on the roster. But the matchup with Arizona is so soft. They have given up game after game after game to tight ends. So if you're going like all three of these guys are kind of touchdown or bust, and granted, Gesicki's against Detroit, so he's in a great spot. And he has a huge ceiling too. 22 points just a couple weeks ago. I like him a lot. Knox is probably can't believe it, but third option here. And even he, of course, has touchdown upside as well. I think I lean Irv here. But what about you, CJ? This is a tight one.
I hate being out with you again. It's either Gesicki or Irv for me. But the Arizona matchup is just so good. Every week, like Juwan Johnson last week, it's like an automatic touchdown. Yeah,
Juwan freaking Johnson had 2 touchdowns. Like, exactly. He was the third highest or second highest tight end of the week last week. Like, Irv could absolutely do this. He has already been a pretty good scoring threat for this team. So, yeah, I'm going to lean there. I'm just double-checking my rankings. I had Knox a spot higher, so I'm going to bump Knox below Irv Smith. Irv Smith is my tight end 10. The only other guy that might be on your waiver wires, I have a little bit above him, is Hayden Hurst. I think at this point, Hurst is actually pretty universally rostered, but with no Jamar Chase for this week, I do think he's in a great spot as well. But yeah, I'm going to go Irv over them. So we're in lockstep. Gesicki does have huge upside today, though. I love him on DraftKings. I like both those guys on DraftKings quite a bit today. I think that cleans up all these super chats, at least for now. So thank you again so much for all your support, guys. Again, if you want to jump the line and kind of cut what we're talking about here, then be our guest. 30 of you or so here, that's great. That's awesome. But we're typically around 50, 60 people live here on our Sunday shows. Maybe they are scared away by CJ's outfit. Who knows? But do us a solid. Give us that thumbs up button, like, shares, retweets, wherever you can do. Help us grow the pack. Show off that beautiful baby over there. What the hell is it again? Like, what are you wearing?
A onesie. It's a full onesie. Unbelievable.
You definitely have to wear that all day. Put something in the Millie lineup, so then tonight when we go live, you're wearing that as you are tilting to get to $1 million tonight. That would be amazing. Oh God, we were already talking about.
I'm big on Prize Picks. I should throw in 100 to win 1,000.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There we go. I love it. Alrighty. So we left off at quarterback. We were just talking about Malik Willis. Tannehill's not questionable, and it should say out at this point because Malik Willis will be starting. He's my quarterback 17, just below Justin Fields as a potential streamer, but 2 QB leagues, you can definitely get there. Well, it might be official by this point, but Zeke is just about ruled out. I don't know if the official report came out yet, but he was listed as doubtful. Adam Schefter said he's not expected to play. We all know what it means. It's Tony Pollard week. You should not have a sit-start question about Pollard because he's my running back 6. He has the running back 1 upside. That's what he finished at the last time Zeke, really the only time Zeke misses the game. That's why it's not even locked in because Zeke just is a weird warrior that will play through this stuff and blob his way through 8 points and just make it gross. But it does seem like the team will rest him this time. So you're playing Pollard. He's also 6,100 on DraftKings. You're playing Pollard. He's chalk. It doesn't matter. Like that's like one that I will have to eat. I think it's tough because running back, there's like 3 that I love and they're all chalk. And that's why you love them. That's why they're chalk, is because they all look good. But Pollard's one of the ones that I have a hard time taking out at 6,100. I love Kenneth Walker at 6,500 too. Josh Jacobs, 3 straight 30-point days at 7,500. He looks great. Those are probably the 3 most popular running back plays in order: Pollard, then Walker, then Jacobs. But I have a hard time getting away from any of them. Do you have any other running backs? Like I like Foreman at 5,300 with news. We're talking about running back news.
I haven't really gone into DraftKings stuff yet, so I'm not sure.
Okay, gotcha. Chuba Hubbard is out, so that does lock up about 18 to 20 touches in a good spot. Atlanta, a bad defense for Donta Foreman, who ripped off a nice 60-yard run last week. Just chunk gain. That's a chunk gain. I all week on the waiver wire show was talking about Foreman as my preferred option. A lot of people noting Hubbard started and played 60% till he got hurt, but Foreman's just always been the better player. And I think today is where he firmly establishes that. If he's somehow still lingering out there in your leagues, go get him. I think he's a very viable running back 2 today. Have him at like running back 25, and I like his price on DraftKings at 5,300. Mostert at 5,800, though. You might want to find the money to get up to him. We mentioned Swift in a earlier super chat, but he is in. He's off the injury report, returning to the field. A fully healthy Swift. Like, I think this is going to be a good bounce back spot for Jared Goff, even, who's in my top 13 quarterbacks for the week, with Amon-Ra back, with DeAndre Swift back, in a good matchup here. I think this game has some real shootout potential with the Dolphins. So I'm backing on Goff today. He let me down last week, but it's okay. I'm back. I believe in you, Jared.
That happened to Amon-Ra last week. I had him everywhere, and it was because of the spotter. He wasn't even concussed.
I know. That me and Truth were talking about that rule on Thursday. It's like if you had a life spotter, I think I'd be permanently concussed. I can't even get out of bed without falling over. Like I'd be screwed.
My back, I reach over to like get something off the floor and I'm stuck, and I just have to sit down on the floor. My back
exactly. So it's terrifying. I'm a permanent concussion apparently, according to the new NFL rules, for sure. Either way, we're going to get to wide receiver in a sec. I'm locking in Amon-Ra. I can never get away from him, and I never want to get away from him. I just want him to stay on the field and catch his 800 balls that he always does. But we're still in running backs because James Conner, he is going to be out. Darrell Williams, as we mentioned, is a game time decision. What time is that game? Is that at 1 o'clock? Are they in Minnesota or are they in Arizona? I don't even remember.
I think it's Minnesota. It's 1 o'clock.
So we'll keep our eyes peeled for the Darrell Williams news. Benjamin is the next man up. He had a 20-point day last time. It's tricky to get away from him. I do think Darrell Williams would be more involved than Keontae Ingram, who already was involved in about 40% of the snaps last week. So I think Benjamin feels like more of a lock than he might actually be. That all to say, though, he'd be a running back 20 for me, just below Miles Sanders and Mostert. Definitely would be in play. I don't know what Benjamin's price tag is on DraftKings actually, but I'm guessing it's around like 5,200 or so, right around the Donta Foreman range. That's not a bad spot, again, for a guy that had 20 points last week and for some reason getting no attention. I should have looked up what his price was before the show. But he's intriguing. Top 20 running back play for me. Ahead of Jamal Williams now. Devin Singletary, Brian Robinson, all slightly below. In fact, I even have Najee Harris below, Benjamin, which seems crazy, but Najee just stinks. Speaking of Brian Robinson, Commanders will not trade Antonio Gibson before the deadline. According to Ron Rivera, teams have been calling about him. They got to make sure to keep this guy around for the 6-7 touches they're going to give him and misuse this wide receiver convert. Make sure to keep him Washington and just leave us all in fantasy hell. So that sucks. But ultimately, Brian Robinson has seen 17, 19 carries the last couple of weeks. I feel pretty good about him. I do think Antonio Gibson looks better than him when he's out there. A lot of juice to his carries when he's in, but I couldn't trust Gibson right now, even though he did see 10 carries last week. I'd have a hard time going to him, but at least the team cares about him enough to not trade him, I guess. We don't know about James Robinson quite yet. Robert Salah said, we'll see how he does today and tomorrow when asked if he'll play on Sunday. My guess is he's going to be in there, but he'll probably be limited to goal line work, that type of stuff. So it could be a nice day for Michael Carter. This might be the last day you can use him too, though. I do think eventually Robinson forces at minimum a 50-50 committee. At maximum, he might take over the backfield. I love James Robinson as a player. So I think he could definitely take this over. Cam Akers is not going to be in, so Darrell Henderson right back to a top 25 running back play. It's unsexy, but he's going to get a ton of work. Adam Schefter does say, though, Akers is expected to return to the Rams if he's not traded. This won't be like a out all year type of situation. He was horrible when he was in, though, so I don't expect him to get traded. I expect him to return to the team and be back to his useless self. There's not much else there. Chuba Hubbard, as we mentioned, was ruled out. And the rest is kind of trade speculation. Again, November 1st. This is the kind of time to get ahead on certain things, such as Kareem Hunt is available for a 4th-round pick, and the Browns are willing to trade him. There's a good chance he gets moved. If the team doesn't give up a 4th-round pick to get Kareem Hunt, I'd be stunned. He is a top 12 talent.
Why wouldn't the Jets just do that?
Yeah, the Jets. I mean, they went for Robinson instead, which I think they only gave a 6th-round.
Turn into a 5th. They're trading a 6th that could turn into a 5th. Why not just spend the extra round on?
Yeah, they probably should have. But I think this is the first that Schefter has said Hunt is actually available. I think it was a lot of speculation. They were quote unquote waiting to see how they did on Monday Night Football. But at this point, they're like, we want to move him. So who knows where he'll go? We'd obviously love to see him go to the Rams. That would be incredible for fantasy. Or if he went to the Bills, I mean, that would be insane. That would be great. So we will see.
Would you be stashing Dearness?
And that was what I was going to say. The action that you can take is either buying on Kareem Hunt or stashing Dearness, who's out there in every league. He'll be one of the top waiver wire pickups on Tuesday after Hunt is probably moved. So you get ahead of the pack. Stash Dearness. We've seen how good Dearness Johnson is when he gets the rock. And he'll be right into that Kareem Hunt role, which if Hunt's owned in all the leagues, Dearness is no Hunt, but he's a good player. And in that role with that huge handcuff upside as well, I think Dearness will be on a lot more rosters than he is at the moment. Jeff Wilson also getting tossed around in trade talks. My boy, the fastest man alive. Alvin Kamara. Also, reportedly, the Eagles had been trying to trade for him. That would be insane if they could somehow get him. I mean, that team is already a wagon. But you had a guy like Alvin Kamara. But the Saints are reportedly asking for a top 5 pick, their pick back, which is looking like it's going to be a top 5 pick. So it doesn't sound like Alvin Kamara will be getting moved. At wide receiver, a ton of big notes. Jamar Chase is not going to go to the injured reserve, but by now you are likely aware that he is out for at least this week, probably a couple weeks. But the fact that he's going to avoid that injured reserve with this hip injury is good news. You got to imagine that means that 2 to 3 weeks maximum here. You never know how these things develop and play out, but he's young. He's healthy. He's a strong dude. I think he'll recover from this quicker than later. A lot of people talked about making buy low offers on Jamar Chase during this injury, and I gave most of them the thumbs up. So I would definitely continue to do that. In the meantime, T. Higgins, top 10 receiver. He's my wide receiver 9 this week. Tyler Boyd, top 25 receiver, wide receiver 22 for me so far this week. They're both pretty much lineup locks for me, especially Higgins, but Boyd in many cases as well. Let us know if you have a Tyler Boyd related question. We do have another super chat, so I want to make sure to pause the news for a second and get to this one. Where are you? Mike Duty.
Flex spot, PPR, Carter, Curtis Samuel.
Ooh, interesting one. It's full PPR, which does help out Curtis Samuel. He got back on track, looked okay with Heineke. I feel like I'm going to go Carter, though. I do think this is a Carter, this kind of your last ride off in the sunset. He'll be the main pass-catching back. Brees was getting a ton of targets each and every week, and I do think Carter takes that role over James Robinson. Plus, he's been a good goal line back. I just feel like he's going to be a pseudo 3-down back today, 65, 70% of everything for Michael Carter while they ease in James Robinson. So I'm going to lean there. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I always lean the starting running back over a receiver that has Taylor Heineke throwing on the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Seems like Heineke's locked in on McLaurin too.
Yeah. So and yeah, Heineke does love McLaurin. We saw that last week, a 28 or 27% target share for him. Samuel did get his little dinks and dunks and some backfield usage, and he does get nice volume every week. But I'm going to go with Carter. I think he gets 15 to 20 touches, and the Patriots are not all that scary as a defense this year. Thank you so much, Mike, for the super chat. We hope we get that one right for you. We greatly appreciate your support. We know Deebo, as mentioned at the top, is out. He's not playing against the Rams today. Does make Ayuk, my wide receiver 17, only 6,100 on DK. Definitely an intriguing play. He already was seeing back-to-back 11 target days, back-to-back 18-plus point days. I really like Ayuk this week. Let us know if you have questions on him, but I've been telling most people that ask me about Ayuk to play Ayuk. DK Metcalf is going to play, shockingly. Looked like there's going to be a multi-week injury, and now he's back. Tyler Lockett is also going to play today. He struggles when coming through injury, though. I always note that. So both those guys a little bit lower for me. Giants is also just like not as good of a matchup as it has been in the past. It's just kind of slow, sluggish games when you face the Giants. So I'm not locking those guys in my lineups like I normally would each and every week. St. Brown, as we mentioned, is going to play this week, expected to play. It's obviously a little scary given these injuries we've had the last couple of weeks, but I still I can't bench Amon. Like, he's a top 7 receiver for me, and the Miami Dolphins have given up the 5th most points to the wide receiver position. It's a smash spot. I'm all in on him. Brandon Cooks is questionable. The big thing with him is maybe he gets traded. So I wonder if he'll be like a healthy scratch type of guy so he doesn't get hurt and they can still get trade value, because it sounds like a lot of teams are asking about him, including the Packers, including a reunion with the Rams potentially. So we expect to see Cooks moved, and that's going to be great.
I would love that so much.
To the Packers, my God. Like, he would become a top 15 wide receiver for the
They're
Packers.
in that too, aren't they?
Who is?
I think the Chiefs are also involved in that.
Yeah, they did just trade for Tony, so I wonder
but
if that kind of takes them out of the running. They were definitely originally in the running. That is, I don't think we've talked about that move on the show yet, by the way. I'd go pick up Tony if he's out there in your guys' leagues. Like, him with the Chiefs could be crazy. The type of speed and after the catch ability that guy has. Like, if someone's going to maximize him, it's Andy Reid. Is it Josh Gordon 2.0? Maybe. But if someone can do it, it's going to be Andy Reid. And if he doesn't do it, then Tony's useless, and you know that moving forward. And then what else? We have Van Jefferson getting activated and expected to have his normal workload. Another guy I'd stash ahead. We try to give you some of these actionable things before the game, but that's another guy like kicker tryout. Don't have a kicker, pick up Van Jefferson, see what he does. He was the deep artist. Then this offense clearly needs some deep speed at this point, so he could walk himself right into a great every down role. So yeah, I love Van Jefferson as a stash. Jahan Dotson's out. Still a guy I'd love to have in my IR spot, though. I really love the kid. I love the talent. But if you need to cut him at this point, it's understandable. Not a must-hold anymore. Jerry Jeudy, the guy going off today right now, is also in the trade rumors. So like Cooks, Jeudy. I mean, I'd love to see Jeudy somewhere else. And last notes here, Devontae Adams is expected to play. He's in a smash spot. There's no Lattimore on the other side for him. So we've been seeing teams just absolutely punish the Saints. The wide receiver ones have been killing them. In particular, when Lattimore's out, it's even bigger. So I'm huge on Adams. Obviously, you're huge. Everyone's huge on Adams. But this could be like 8,700 on DraftKings. Not many people are rostering him, and he just goes nuts type of week there. Everybody's on Jacobs, and then it ends up being an Adams type of 3-touchdown day. We'll see. No timetable on Michael Thomas and that toe. Again, Brian Robinson shot 3 times, returns faster than Michael Thomas, who stubs his toe. What a little fucking asshole. Jarvis Landry is not practicing as well. He's going to be out again. So the Olave show remains the number 1 in town. And I love it. Top 15 receiver for me. Number 1 in air yards and deep targets and so many of those great stats. I love Olave. That kid's a player. We were big on him too. I had him above even like Drake London. I had him above entering dynasty leagues. Which who knows how that will pan out in the long run. But I like Traylon Burks. People were like ripping into me like, oh, you have Olave ahead of Traylon Burks. You must never have played dynasty before. And it's like, I mean, no, I haven't. I'm new to it. I'm trying to get better at it. But like, fuck off. Also, Olave is unbelievable.
Ohio State receivers, not new Michael Thomas, really good.
They're so good. They are so good. And Michael Thomas was one of the best to ever do it. Renfro was removed from the injury report. Matt Collins is questionable but expected to play. You know, Matt Collins is like top 6 in terms of quarterback passer rating when targeted. It's insane. Like some of the most advanced analytics, like he's at the top of all of them.
I was going to say, Ryan Haggerty just commented, is Matt Collins worth a DFS look?
And he's cheap. We've seen him win. He was in the Millie making lineup in week 2. Like he can do it when he gets the targets, but I wouldn't expect the targets, even though Waller is out. That does make it a little more secure. I actually have to X out of Waller in my rankings while that's on the top of my mind. I just think it's a big so where did I got rid of Waller. Okay, perfect. Noah Brown's questionable. That's another one just to keep monitoring because he did see the most targets last week. It seems like, why are you talking about Noah Brown? Well, he led the team in targets, would obviously be a good thing for CeeDee Lamb and maybe Michael Gallup to get his season finally started if he is out for sure. And then moving on to the last couple notes here. for tight ends. We now know Waller is out. Njoku is out. So that's 2 like top 7 guys off the list. Dalton Schultz was questionable, but he is in. Still a little sketchy because what if that thing gets re-aggravated? But in PPR, half PPR, Schultz has his boy Dak back, and he's a pretty safe option at a relatively unsafe position. Juwan Johnson is questionable after a big 2-touchdown day. Definitely a nice punt guy for those of you that need it because he has that touchdown upside, but he might not be in. So, other options you can go to. I was going to say Greg Dulcich. He's already playing. Ingram's already playing. He's one of my favorite options of this week as well. So if all those guys are gone, maybe Irv Smith is lingering around on some waiver wires, or Harrison Bryant, the backup for David Njoku, who just mentions out. He's a real player. I like Harrison Bryant a lot. This team has definitely made a priority of targeting the tight end. Yes, some of that is Njoku being a great athlete, but Bryant's pretty damn good himself. He's had some really good games when Njoku has been out of the lineup in the past. And I think Logan Thomas is going to play. So, yay. Good stuff. I actually don't even have Logan Thomas ranked. So I was just going to say, like, where would he be in my rankings? I don't think it's anything that you should consider. He slides in at like tight end 25. So
we do have a little news. So Zeke's officially out. Waller is out. Swift and Amon are in, and James Robinson is active.
Who was the second one you said was out? It was Zeke.
Waller, but we already knew that.
Okay, yeah. And you said James Robinson is active?
Yeah. So
I think he'll be involved in goal line packages. He was there all week, so it's not like it's like completely nothing there at all. And just in terms of D-line and defense and all that stuff, AJ Terrell is out for the Panthers, against the Panthers rather, out for the Falcons. Good news for DJ Moore, who was a target magnet in his first game. He's only 5,300 on DraftKings too. Love him. Love Wandale at 4,700. There's definitely some nice cheap receiver plays this week. And Shaq Leonard will play. So finally joining the field is Shaq Leonard. We'll see if he can make it through a game this time. I'm like making fun of one of the best defensive players out there. Like when he's actually in, like what do I have to say negative about Shaq Leonard? I don't know why, but he's been a frequent target of mine.
I was going to say, we talk about him every single week. For some reason.
Well, it's because he's such a big, high impact player. Like when he's in, it makes a huge difference. I just feel like every time it's like I'm talking about him and he switches his name and I'm like, what's going on with this guy? I don't know. He just gives me weird vibes. But that's everything we need. We have another super chat coming in from Anthony Fella, and then it is your questions the rest of the way, Wolfpack Fella. Thank you so much for the support.
Kareem Hunt, Rondo Moore, or pick one.
Kind of like, it's not Moore for me. I don't like Rondale Moore. I've never been a huge Rondale guy, and certainly not right now. With Hopkins back, it's just like every other weapon in that offense has taken a huge hit, other than Hopkins, who's going to be a magnet for 15.
Slot too. So.
Yeah, did you see Hopkins was taking like 50% of his routes in the slot? Like that's the only spot where Moore can do any damage. And now Hopkins is right back there commanding everything. So it comes down to Hunt or Irv. Most weeks I would say it's Hunt, and like it's pretty easily it's Hunt. I think 2 things are making me a little hesitant there. One, like what if they don't really do much with Hunt because they know they're trading him? What if he gets traded and then suddenly you can't use him and you're in like a horrible position Monday night? I guess you could toss in D'Ernest and like hope for a touchdown there. But that's a little sketchy. And then 2, you got Big Irv facing the easiest matchup of all. That only the Seahawks have given up more points to the tight end position than the Cardinals have. So I like Big Irv today. I feel like my gut's kind of telling me Irv. What about you, CJ?
I hate the double tight end. So
I do too. Trust me. I don't like it. Would you go Hunt?
Mentally, if it was me, if I was looking at this on my phone, I'd probably just have Hunt because I just mentally cannot do 2 tight ends. But I mean, it makes sense. I see where you're coming from. I'd go Hunt to just be safe, I guess. But Irv is probably the better play.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Here we go. I go Irv. CJ goes Hunt. I think it's a tough call. Let us know what you end up deciding over there. And now let's get to our call-ins. Mr. Campanelli, how are we today, brother?
Hanging in, Wolf. Hanging in. We have to ask, though, did you break the groom's balls before you pronounced them husband and wife?
Oh, he did a fantastic job, honestly. There was a ton of laughs. I wish I recorded it. We could have played it again.
We did. I definitely got a couple jabs in. I did not bring up fantasy football. I left that one out. But I definitely got a few shots in while I could from my officiant stand. It did go very, very well. And congrats again to Nick Tanzella and Steph Cotter. It was a great ceremony. We had a blast afterwards too. So it went well, David. It went well. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So I'm kind of in a weird spot here. I got Geno starting right now against the Giants, but I'm kind of torn if maybe to drop Stafford to start Malik Willis instead over Geno, just because of the Konami upside. And then it's a full PPR league. I have A.J. Dillon in my flex position right now because everybody on my bench is either hurt this week, or do I ride Dillon, or do I drop like a James Conner or a Michael Thomas at this point to go get like a Taysom Hill and run a double tight end out there?
Oh, interesting. We'll start with the quarterbacks. I would probably just stick it out with Geno. He's been a little underwhelming the last 2 weeks. I understand that. And it's Geno Smith. He's going to be underwhelming. It's just tough to know what Malik Willis will bring to the table. I think, honestly, if they can run the ball 50 times with Derrick Henry and do nothing with Malik Willis, they will. So he'll probably get a handful of good rushes. I bet you he'll rack up 50-ish yards or so on the ground.
His prize picks is 45.5.
For rushing yards?
I love that so much.
Yeah, he'll probably get there. For him to really pay off and be better than Geno, he's going to need to do it as a score. Like he's going to score. He's going to need a rushing touchdown. And so I don't know that it's, again, Houston, like they're really, really bad run defense. So like, could that happen? Absolutely. Yeah, he probably will score a rushing touchdown too. The more I think about it, I don't know though, because it's a 1 week rental and like Geno can be, you're a super flex league. And it's like, do you really want a 1 week rental? They're going to go back to Tannehill. It could be a good 1 week rental. But overall, Smith's been pretty good all year. Dropping Stafford as his schedule gets easier, I don't like that move. Like, I'd probably just stay, even if he does end up having a better 1 week thing. I think with everything and the whole picture in mind, Geno's more valuable. Stafford's more valuable to kind of keep on your roster. So I'm gonna say no to Malik Willis, as exciting and sexy as it might be today.
Yeah,
and then in terms of the flex, I don't like having A.J. Dillon in my lineup. Buffalo's a great defense all over, and he is seeing about 20% of the work the last couple of weeks. So I have no interest in him. Honestly, I'd probably cut him. I might cut Michael Thomas first, just because it was such a bad locker room presence, whereas you at least have the handcuff upside. Michael Thomas, of all those options, like I'm not going to cut Connor. I think he's still the starter. I'm not going to cut A.J. Dillon because of the handcuff upside. So I think you can cut Michael Thomas, and maybe it's Taysom Hill. I don't know if Wan'Dale Robinson's out there. I really, really like him as a play today. But yeah, I don't mind the Taysom Hill stab at all. That's like a bad Raiders defense with lots of points up for grabs. Maybe no Juwan Johnson too. So even more red zone upside. I kind of like that. I certainly like Taysom Hill more as a starter than A.J. Dillon today. What about you, CJ?
Honestly, my little pea brain just like heard the crowd noise, so I looked at the TV as he was asking the questions. I don't even know.
And so it's A.J. Dillon versus like Taysom Hill. And if he gets Taysom Hill, he has to drop like Michael Thomas, essentially.
Yeah, I probably would. I mean, A.J. Dillon's such a disaster right now. I remember a few weeks ago, I was like, oh, he's a lock for the roster every single week. But no, I don't want anything to do with him. I'd probably go Taysom. As long as Dalton's starting, I like Taysom in my lineup.
Yeah, me too. Alrighty, Campanelli. How's it?
Sounds great, guys. Thank you.
Alrighty, best of luck today. We hope it goes well for you, sir.
We'll see. Have a good one, guys.
You too. Cheers. And Wolfpack again. So we hit all these questions. That thumbs up button is so greatly appreciated. We got about 30 with you live with us. Let's keep getting those numbers up so we can get to more people, answer more questions, and grow the Wolfpack. Another call in here. Prize Picks Hags. What's going on, brother?
What's up, guys?
Good to see you.
I had a fantasy question, but you pretty much answered it in the last couple minutes. I was considering throwing Hunt in my flex, but I'm not going to because I'm going to put Wan'Dale in there.
I like Wan'Dale there. Yeah, he's a little stud. I like that kid a lot.
Yeah, I feel like they're not going to do anything with Kareem tomorrow anyways. I just pray that guy ends up on a different team.
He Valley could go through the roof, though. If he goes like the Rams, come on now. Let's get it, baby.
I have to start fucking Darrell Henderson today, and he's going to get like fucking 2 points. So need Kareem to
10. It's going to be so boring and unsexy, but he'll get you to 10. He will.
Me and CJ have been smashing prize picks, so I'm just going to throw out some of my favorites.
Let's hear him, Hag. Let's hear it, baby.
We went to my dad's on Friday. we were at the bar at my YouTube TV. We were watching this, had the Celtics on the TV. Hegs has like 27 NBA countries going. And we on my YouTube TV app, literally we were watching like the first half of like the Bucks against the Hawks or something.
Yeah.
Like Giannis under 17.5 points, got 17. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I sweated out Giannis getting one more bucket for about fucking 15 minutes just to update the Lakers game, and LeBron hit a fucking layup with 6 seconds before halftime to cost me like $150.
Nice. Thanks,
Obviously,
LeBron.
it has to be like that. But
Who are some of your favorites for football today?
First one actually, CJ enlightened me to. It's Freiermuth over 34.5 yards.
Ooh.
Pickett peppers him, I guess, and he's got 75 last week, so I love that. Tua fantasy points, 16.5, should be carving up Detroit today. Zeke is inactive, I think, so Pollard over 77.5 rush yards.
Oh yeah.
He also has, I think, all-purpose yards is like 102 or something, so I like both of those.
I do too.
CMC, no Deebo, 103 rush receiving yards.
Oh yeah.
Gotta like that one.
He looked like I know he only got 7 or 8 touches last week, but every single touch he was like
I don't know why they went away from him. I mean,
don't know.
They went down early, but still, like even his first carry, he looks so good in that offense.
I know.
He looks so good in that offense. That's a great. All of these ones, I don't think there's a single one I'm going to push back against. I think they're all great so far.
Taysom Hill, a lot of points in that game, 4.5 fantasy points. I mean, I'd play that every week pretty much because it's always that low, even though I hate that fucking Swiss Army knife loser.
So annoying.
4.5 for him is a no-brainer. Like, absolutely.
I feel like they should move it up to like 6.5 because you're basically betting on him via touchdown, is what you're doing.
100%.
All right, Waddle, 68.5 yards. I like that. It's like 20 yards less than Tyreek, I think.
Nice.
Cooper Kupp, over 8 receptions. He had 14 week 4 versus San Fran. Gotta just go with fucking Kupp every week.
A 19 target like a week a guy. Like, 8 catches is nothing for him. He'll have that in the first quarter.
And then I guess I just love the Dolphins. I got Gesicki over 26.5. I don't know. I like that too.
Nice. I like targeting that game. I think that game definitely has a lot of fantasy juice, a lot of yardage. The Tua, like 15 points. I mean, come on. That's, again, like first half, you might have 15.
Right.
And against Detroit. So, awesome Prize Picks, Eggs. Well done. Everybody out there, use code RSJ. If you haven't played Prize Picks, we do truly love them. It's a great app. It's a great platform. They're blowing up, too. So, if you somehow are not there yet, you can use code RSJ to get up to $100 matched over there. I haven't done Prize Picks in a couple of weeks. I need to get back on it. You've got
jump on the train, man.
Again here. Watching you guys do all the NBA stuff. I got to get back into my takeaways.
There's like targets. I love the Cowboys over 3.5 sacks against Fields today.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Austin Hooper over 11.5 yards. That's my randomest one. Malik Willis is gonna pepper him today.
I love it.
All right, see you guys.
Cheers, Hags. Thanks for the Prize Picks. And again, check it out. Wolfpack, if you haven't already, code RSJ, $100 match. It's a great, great app for sure. Mr. Russo, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, fellas. How we doing?
Oh, doing very well. How are you, brother?
Good. So a couple quick questions. Golf or Stafford?
I'm leaning Goff. I like that game a lot today. I just think that game shoots out lines.
I feel like it's in a shootout.
Do you think the same, CJ?
Yeah, I think that game's in a shootout.
And I just feel like the 49ers and Rams one, like has that like could blow up narrative, but it feels like a slugfest to me, just like a gross, slow pace. Let's run. Both teams just bleeding clock. I don't know. I could be misreading it because it really could go the other way, but I'm going to lean Goff there. You agree, CJ?
Yeah, I agree with you.
All righty. What else we got, Giuseppe?
And then we got Devonta Smith or Gabriel Davis, PPR.
I got to go to the daddy. I got to go back. He's been ripping it the last couple of weeks. Now he's back to full health. I love him. I just can never get away. And I love Devonta. I mean, in full PPR, it even makes him better. And Pittsburgh's a great matchup for him, too. So, like, both of them are in my top 20 receivers. They're both in the same tier, but I do have Gabe just a couple spots higher than Devonta.
I always love the touchdown upside and the big play upside. Daddy.
It's prime time. Like, I feel like Gabe Davis just shines when it's like the prime time. You're going to get 2 touchdowns later tonight. Your opponent might think he has you down, and then bam, 30 points from Gabe Davis. Like, I love it. Love it.
Thank you so much, fellas.
Awesome. Have a great Sunday. Good luck today. We got a couple super chats here. I want to make sure to get back to those. A huge one from Chillard, but we missed one from Broderick before that. So let's hit this one. Chillard, thank you so much. Broderick, thank you so much for your support. Let's see what we got.
So one of these half PPR, Swift, Daddy, Carter, Pittman. I'm saying Pittman out of this group.
You're locking in the top 2, no doubt about it. To me, you said you're sitting Pittman. I might sit Carter. Robinson is active, so we know he'll be at least somewhat involved. And if that involvement's at the goal line, that could be brutal. But Pittman does have Ellinger, so it's like, how high can we have him?
I can't trust any Colts receiver until I see it this week.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Like, yeah, Ryan, they're probably going to throw more off with Ryan, but it was shitty. Like, he sucks. It was all dink and dunk, and I guess for PPR, that's not a bad thing for Pittman, but he doesn't have a single target beyond 15 yards this year. Like, at least Ellinger in the preseason, he opened it up. He was firing downfield. I love Ellinger at 4K. I know we already talked about that, me, you, and Zenos in our DFS group chat. I love that play today on DraftKings. He's got some rushing ability too. I think Pittman could have himself a nice little afternoon. I'm going to bench Carter of these options. What about you?
I'm sitting Pittman. I can't do the Ellinger thing right now. I need to watch it first.
You need to see it before you believe it with Ellinger.
Actually,
probably a smart play.
Would you? So, do you think Willis, like after this week, he's just going to go back to the bench for good?
I do. I mean, they're winning. They're at the top of their division. Like, Tannehill at least has that stability. I think he'd have to go nuts, like have a ridiculous 200-yard, like, passing, 150 rushing, 4 touch, like something insane. Where it's like, we really can't, like, our offense was just that much better with him. Mm-hmm. I think otherwise, it's going to be a Tannehill. He's still raw. Like, I think it's going to be kind of ugly with him. It's going to be kind of like when Tebow, I know he has a much better arm and, like, way more athletic, but it's one of those things where it's like he'll bail you out towards the end with a nice rushing touchdown or something, but the whole time you're just like, oh, why did I do this? Why did I do this? Why did I do this? And then like eventually he comes through, but it doesn't feel good. I don't know. I don't think he's going to come in and light the world on fire. That's the only way.
I was gonna ask me and Tyre in a super flex, and for the QB3, we were thinking we had Ellinger as like a stash just for fun. I was thinking of dropping him for Willis. I didn't know if that.
For a 1 week thing, I'd rather have Willis this week, but Ellinger's the starter the rest of the year. So, like, I think it's better to keep him similar to kind of what David's calling was about, where it's like, do I cut Stafford or Geno? I mean, yeah, maybe Willis does have a better week than one of those two guys, but then he's nothing the rest of the year, and you just toss a QB out there. I'd probably hang on to Ellinger there, CJ.
Sounds good.
And then Chillard coming in with a huge super chat. Love to see it. Thank you so much, Willard. Paying to play. I saw him last night. Good time dancing, celebrating with Willard over there. He told us when we get it right, he's going to come and show up with a big, generous super chat. Look at it. He's a man of his word. So I'm glad we got it right for you, Chillard. Let's continue to nail these for you. What do we got?
CJ's number 2 fan. Thanking me for that great Fields pep talk. He wanted to start Mac Jones over Fields last week. Half PPR.
We saved him. Yeah, we did.
Pittman, Miles Sanders, non-quarterback pick for over 2 touchdowns this week for DFS.
Non-QB pick for over 2+. Okay, interesting. For the half PPR, I think I'm going Sanders over Eno. The Pittsburgh Steelers are bad. They are huge favorites, the Eagles are. That's the kind of script that, like, Sanders is – that's when you use him. To me, this is one where I won't consider Pittman. He might have a blow-up day. But similar to you, CJ, when I have like these good of options, I'd rather wait and see it with Ellinger. Maybe he lights it up and we know like the rest of the year, Pittman Ellinger will be a thing. Obviously, you'd love to see it, even if he's on your bench. But to me, I think the script with Sanders, like pounding the Steelers, a bad run defense already with no Watt in there. So I like definitely has more receiving upside than Sanders, but we still don't know, is Darrell playing? How involved will Darrell be? So I like Sanders. I just feel like he's nice, steady. Like you're going to get 15 to 20 carries in a positive game script in a good matchup. I feel pretty good about that. What about you?
Yeah, as I said, I was off Pittman. I don't know, between Eno and Sanders. I hate Sanders, the talent, but he has been pretty good this year. I'll ride with you there and go Sanders.
And for what it is worth, they're my running back 19 and running back 20. Like they couldn't be closer on the rankings. But I just do, especially if it was full PPR, I might switch my tune because will have the higher receiving ceiling. But I just feel good about like Sanders is probably going to score at least one. I could see this being like a 2-touchdown Sanders day. So I feel pretty good about that. And then the next one, non-QB pick for over 2+ touchdowns this week on DFS. I mean, how could it not be Derrick Henry? I know he's 8,400. I know he's expensive, but like he's facing Houston. He averages, I think, 35 in his last like 3 games against Houston or something like that.
Dismantle on the ground.
I mean,
Every single week's like a get-up game.
He always just destroys them. But I heard the stat today in wins. In the last 2 years, he averages 27.5 points, and in losses, he averages like 12. So you already can kind of pencil them in for a win, regardless of the quarterback situation. So you have the fact that he punishes Houston each and every year. Then you have the fact that, like, in wins versus losses, he's just insane. So I think he's the easiest one. I mean, Josh Jacobs, though, I'll say this. I have Henry in a couple builds, but I'm going to Jacobs more often. And Tony Pollard at 6,100. Everybody, again, I'm talking about popular names here, like 2+ touchdowns. If it's like a wild out of nowhere 2+ touchdown pick, what would be like a non-chalky one? I'm trying to think of like who could be under the radar.
I mean, it is still an expensive player, but I love Tyreek.
Yeah, that's a really good one. He's 8,500. I was just going to grab my phone to look at the DraftKings prices. I know he's 8,500, and that's some leverage you could get off of Derrick Henry, because if you have that price range, almost everybody is going to go to Henry, and again, likely should. That's why he's the logical play would be Henry there. But Tyreek could like absolutely wreck the slate, right? Like 182 touchdowns and at 5% ownership because he's 8,500 and he's expensive, and you got Henry right there. I think that's a really interesting call, CJ, against Detroit. So like a GPP, I like that a lot. So those are definitely some, again, Henry, Jacobs, Pollard, like a decreasing price, but all 3 of them have 2-touchdown upsides, but all 3 are going to be very popular. So as a pivot to 2-touchdown upside, I think Tyreek's a really, really good toss out there. And the only other one I'll say, again, we're talking about huge names, huge prices here, but I think Devontae Adams against, no Lattimore, no Waller today. Week 1, I think we could have one of those like 18 target, 13 catch, 2 score, like nobody rostered type of days for him as well. Who would you prefer between Adams and Tyreek if you had the money for both? Which one would you go for?
I love Tyreek today. I have him in a bunch of prize picks. I love that offense today.
I know. I'm going to a lot of Waddle just because I can afford in the lineups more. Yeah, I can get Waddle ahead of Tyreek in most of my builds. So I have a lot of like Waddle and Amon-Ra correlation stacks there. 6,900 for Ahmad's like I can never get away from him. If he's under 7K, I'm smashing it. So I don't know how that does for you, Chillard, but just to wrap it all up again, I think we both agreed on Sanders, and then we just gave you a bunch of DFS options. Thank you so much for that generous super chat. If Tyreek Hill wins you a milli today, maybe we'll get an even bigger one next week. We will see. We're going to take it down one of these days, Willard. We will. All righty. And back to some call-ins we got here. Mr. Moore, what's going on, brother?
What's up?
Happy Sunday.
Yeah. ETN is a monster, man.
He really is. I know. I was a doubter for a little while. I've come around full circle. The guy's a stud.
Yeah. It's like the office can't do anything when he's off the field. They're moving the chains when he's on the field. When he comes off, it's like stalemate, nothing.
Yeah. When he had that like tightrope run along the sidelines, I was, oh man, this kid is
Have you seen that thing on Twitter about his like running style?
Like the feet, like the
feet thing. It's like they're like waiting to break, but I don't care. Just running until they break. His feet turn like his knees turn. Weird guy.
Absolutely. Yeah. How can we help you out, good sir?
I've got a tight end question. I've got Higbee and Goddard in a half PPR league.
That's a pretty good one. Both are in my top 4 tight ends, actually. I lean Goddard. I always do just because the offense is more explosive. They're designing a lot of after-the-catch stuff for him. Higbee, I mean, he's had a couple like 14, 15 target days, but now Van Jefferson's back, and it seems like A-Rob's starting to get a little more involved. So I just feel better about Goddard, the player, and similar roles, better offense. So I'm going to go Goddard there.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Sweet.
Yeah. I hate to play an Eagle, but it's fantasy. What are you gonna do?
You got to swallow the pride sometimes and put the fandom to the side when it comes to fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
man.
right.
Well, good luck, Jeremiah. Hopefully everything works out for you.
All right. Have a good one.
Cheers. You too. All righty. And we got the super chats cleaned up. So we have another call in here. The number one fan. What's going on?
What's up, boys?
I love that we have like the number 2 fan and the number 1 fan for CJ now in the comments here. Great stuff. How can we help you out, Mr. Tomsick?
First off, CJ, what an outfit, dude.
I need to stand up. It's a full onesie. It's unbelievable.
Give your number 1 fan the full body turnaround. Come on, CJ.
I don't know about that.
Do it for the people.
Give us a spin.
That's PG-13.
Give us a spin, baby.
I'll get up. I have to get my charger soon anyways. I'll get up.
There we go.
Yeah. We'll save it for the end of the show. You guys have to stay to the end if you want to see CJ's full body in this suit. Awesome. But yeah, Ben, how can we help you out? We've clearly taken care of other fantasies for you. How can we help you out in fantasy football?
Well, thanks for the call on sitting Gus Edwards, because that made the rest of my Sunday pretty easy. But
who was it? It was Edwards versus who? I can't even remember who it was.
Ayuk.
Oh, nice. Good. Yeah, I think Ayuk's going to light it up today. So
Yeah, and that was even before Deebo went out too, so it's huge.
Yeah, let's go, baby. Let's go.
So I guess I'm on one of those teams where I'm in like fucking tight end hell. So would you go with Freiermuth, Gesicki, or now that Waller's out, go with Moreau?
Definitely not Moreau. He's kind of a bum. I like Fry. I mean, if that's your hell, that's a lot of people's heaven at tight end this year is Freiermuth. He's been pretty damn steady. I think he's played 6 games. I think he has 10 or more in all but 1. Like, it's not sexy, but he gets it done. And Pickett has loved him so far. It's been him and Pickens kind of leading the way. So I mean, Gesicki does have that like blow up ceiling. I guess it does come down to like, I hate that classic. That feels a little bit like a cop out where it's like, do you need the ceiling? Do you need the floor? I think Freiermuth is going to get you 10 to 15, somewhere in that range. Whereas Gesicki might get you 0. He might score twice and get you like 22. So it really comes down to like what your game match looks like. Do you need the more sure thing or the upside today, Tom?
I'll go Freiermuth.
I'm facing Justin Myers, and he's a little bitch boy. So I probably just need a floor. But
he's in last, isn't he? Is it?
No, I don't know what he is, but he talks so much shit. I gotta beat that kid.
Yeah, I go Freiermuth then. If his team sucks and you're probably gonna beat him, get the locked in points. I'd say 80% of the time I'm going Freiermuth. You'd have to be a severe underdog. If you had started Gus and needed to make up the points at this point, then yeah, maybe. But no, I like Freiermuth a lot. He's pretty locked in, pretty steady.
All right, I'm rolling with him. And by the way, Dan Heggs looks very handsome today as well. So
yeah. The rare compliments to each other. Look at that.
Yeah.
Nice little brotherhood today on the RSJ show. Well, thank you again for the call, and Ben, stick around to the end if you want to see CJ spin that thing around.
Make sure that thing jiggles, baby.
Let's go. All righty. To the questions. I think that wraps up all our call-ins and all our super chats so far.
I'll be right back.
What'd you say?
I have to grab my charger. I'll be right back.
All righty. Sounds good. So I'll get us going on these questions. Thanks again so much for being with us. We'll pack that thumbs up button. Keep calling out for it, but it does help us out so much as do your super chats, your call, all this great interaction that you guys bring is so awesome. Let's go. Let's dive right in. Juan Pena, cheers to you as well, my man. Gibson, Herbert, Eno, or Wandale. I got to go Eno there. 20 points last week, highly involved in every facet of the game. The other 2 backs are a little more like backup with upside. Wandale I do really like, but Eno, definitely more guaranteed work there for him. Shall I leave Jamal Williams in for my running back 2 or put in Benjamin or Herbert? I'd go Benjamin over Jamal there. And then if that comes down like Jamal versus Wandale, I'll probably go Jamal. The touchdown upside is big with him, so I'd probably go there. But yeah, I'd rather have Eno than Jamal if it's just one or the other. Aiden, what's going on? Good morning, guys. Willis versus Houston, Dalton versus LV, or Fields versus Dallas, Mills versus 10. Got to pick 2. So we got 2 of these options for you, Aiden. I'm leaning. I think I'm going for the Konamis here, and I'm going to go Willis, and I'm going to go Fields, and just go for the rushing upside. I do really like Dalton. Like, which is crazy to say, but the Raiders are giving up the most points to quarterbacks. This is a guy that just threw for 316 and 4. Like, he's just airing it out right now. Dalton is back. So I do like him. And if this comes down to like Willis is just trash and then you toss him out the next week, then I might go Fields and Dalton here. But otherwise, I think I kind of want to go for the rushing upside of Willis and Fields.
Yeah, I'm going to go Willis Fields.
This is tough.
I think I'm going Willis Fields. I mean, it's going to look disgusting at times for both. You're going to be like, why did I do this? But then they'll rip off like a 50-yard run.
Yeah.
I'm going Willis and Fields. Just so much more fun than Dalton.
Yeah. I mean, Dalton chucking that thing around has actually become fun. But I feel like just when you trust Dalton and just when the matchup makes perfect sense to get him in, that's when it's like you get 153 interceptions and then like he gets benched for Jameis. Like that could always happen at any given point. So I'm going to go with the Konami upside. I'm not even considering Mills. Like, no way. But yeah, give me the Konami upside. Let's go for the rushing points there. Ryan, 6-1 team, shredded by buys. Oh, you're back, so I don't know why I'm reading the questions. You're the master reader over there in that beautiful outfit. I still can't take you seriously.
6-1 team, shredded by buys. Deebo in deep league, lack of waiver options. Feeling sick typing this, but pick 2. Damian Harris, Tunyon, Komet, Van Jefferson, Osborne. Need a miracle.
Yeah, that's ugly. I mean, not Komet. Never Komet. God, no. I don't. Why you even have him on a team is beyond me. Get rid of Komet. I'm going to go Harris. I know Ramondre really took over that backfield, but he's an okay bet for a touchdown. I mean, is it Osborne? Is it Van? It's not Tunyon for me. I don't want any Packers tonight against the Bills. So is it Van in his first game back? Does he get deep? Or is it Osborne, who could also get deep, but is otherwise pretty capped?
I feel like Van can take over that receiver 2 role. Stafford likes him.
Stafford does like him, and it's not like A-Rob has cemented it by any means. Yeah, I kind of like the idea, and McVay has said ahead of the game that
needs a miracle, so that'd be a miracle.
He does need a miracle. You want the boom. I do like. I was going to say Van's my preferred option here. McVay did say he's going to have his normal workload. It's a miracle. Who knows how he'll look at all? But they did have a good connection. He's got deep speed. They've been taking their time with him. So I'm going to go for Van and then probably Harris and hope for a touchdown there. But Osborne's got the deep ball ability too. Like if you just want to go Van and Osborne and just hope they're chucking, it's not like Arizona's a scary matchup by any means for Osborne. But I'm leaning Harris and Van. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you.
All righty.
Bulldog, good morning, fellas. I got Jacoby Myers sitting on the bench and a 10-teamer. Is it too much to drop him for Tony?
That's tough because, I mean, in a 10-teamer, it's obviously different. I almost always would use Myers, though. I mean, he is like a 30% target share every week, especially if this is a PPR league. Like, it's just so nice and steady, and he's a great bye week fill-in. The upside for Tony is enormous, but there's also zero floor here. So I guess it comes down to, like, is Myers a guy that's just always on your bench, even during bye weeks? Are you just never putting him in? Because if that's the case, then Tony, like, maybe there's a narrative where he emerges as the number one and Mahomes just peppers him and he goes crazy. Probably a 3% chance that happens, but if it does, he'd actually be in your lineup. Whereas Myers, if he's never going to be in there, then maybe you toss him. But I personally, like most rosters, I'd rather have Myers than Tony, despite the team change. What about you, CJ?
Jacoby's just so boring. I want nothing to do with that offense, though. I think I'd drop him for Tony.
So you go for the juice. All righty, we'll see.
There's a side note. ETN just scored to go up with like 3 minutes left, and I love the games in London when they show the crowd. We always talk about this, but there was like a Raven shirt.
Yeah, Dolphins.
They're all like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. Have we gotten anything at all from Sutton today? I haven't been watching the game.
I don't think so. There was like a mock cheer. He had a first down in like the second quarter, and the crowd went wild for like an 11-yard reception. So
yeah, nice.
That's never a good thing.
God. Yeah, I just want to check.
ETN 156 on the ground, 1 touchdown.
1.8 for fucking Sutton. Jesus, I'm going to lose.
ETN, 24 rushes for 156 and a touchdown.
Whew. What an absolute beast he has developed into. Oh, thank you, Sutton. There's nothing I hate more in this world than Russ Wilson and the fucking Broncos. How are we forced to
traded in a dynasty league I'm in with Jimmy. I traded him my second round pick for Sutton. I wanted to buy low on him. I fucked it up so much.
That's maybe not a horrible move, but I don't know. All righty. Y2J, what do we got?
Y2J, happy Sunday, fellas. Now I've been scratching my head all week about this one, and the more I think about it, the more I get confused. I always love these intros. Wandale or George Pickens?
Scratching the head. Everywhere you go and you see Y2J, there's just a finger and it's scratching. It hasn't left his head all week.
I'm going Wandale myself.
I kind of like Wandale too. The Philly secondary is such a beast. And I know Pickens has been really, really good with Pickett, but this is a tough matchup. I go with Wandale in an easier matchup, just more guaranteed weekly volume. Like he's the number one. Is it a less explosive attack? A little bit at least. But I like Wandale, definitely. In terms, I just want to check my rankings and make sure that that's reflected. No, I have Pickens above Wandale. Nope, I had moved it earlier. Wandale's my 30, Pickens is my 32. So it is close. I can see why you've been reduced to scratching your head all week, Y2J. But ultimately, I'm going to go Wandale. I feel really good about him. Like I think he's going to get 8 to 10 targets almost every week.
He had 6 targets in the first quarter and then got hurt.
I know. It's a lot. It reminds me a lot. And Noah Brown is officially out. I know that has nothing to do with this, but I'm just double checking my rankings. I noticed he has been officially ruled out, which does help out Gallup just a little bit. I've seen Gallup dropped in a lot of leagues. I would say go scoop him if you can. But Noah Brown's out. But yeah, Wandale's role reminds me a lot of what they do with Cooper Kupp. I'm not saying, obviously, that Wandale is Cooper Kupp, but similar to like how Amon and him, it's just those layup targets that just dink, dink, dink. He's explosive, so he can get deep. I'm a big fan. He just creates a ton of separation with how quick he is off the line. They can move him in the backfield. So I'm a big fan of Wandale. The team clearly wants to get him involved early and often. I think his role just keeps growing by the week. So I'm a fan there. And the tougher matchup for Pickens, as much as I love him as a player, I mean, Pickens is ridiculous. Just a tough matchup this week. So I would go Wandale. So me and CJ are in step again for that one. Where did we leave off? Charlie.
Olave or Gabe?
Oh, man. Testing my love for the daddy. How much do you love daddy? I have Olave higher. 14 and 15, actually, looking at the rankings here. Olave 14, Gabe Davis 15. Something about like prime time tonight, you have Gabe Davis. You know you're never out of the matchup in that case. I kind of want, like, even though my rankings look like otherwise, I probably would go Gabe if I had the gun to my head and had to pick one. How do you not have them both in? I mean, this is, again, 2 of my top 15 wide receivers. Like, who?
You can't flex one of them.
Who are you going above these guys? Yeah. I'm going, I hear cheers in the background. What did I miss?
KJ Hamler just got a bomb.
Touchdown or no?
Huge drop by Sutton.
You're just shitting me.
It would have been like probably 15 yards, man.
Yeah.
But
huge drop when he has fucking 1.8 on the day. What a piece of shit. Back to you, Charlie. You piece of shit. No, I'm going to Olave. I feel better about it, but man, it's so hard to like sit Gabe in prime time. But I do have Olave higher. I feel like safer with Olave.
Gabe's more fun, but I would go Olave.
Gabe is definitely more fun, but Olave is definitely more safe, and he's plenty of fun too himself. So, yeah, we're going to Olave.
Campanelli standard, pick one receiver, DPJ or Gallup.
I mean, no Noah Brown today. Good matchup for the team against a bad Bears team. I like Gallup. I'll probably go Gallup there over DPJ. What about you?
Yeah, I want to wait on DPJ until Watson gets back.
Yeah.
Campanelli, Superflex, Malik, Heineke, Stafford, Brissett. Kind of asked this during his call. But.
I'm going Stafford there. I'm, coming out of the bye, like Van Jefferson's back, so maybe this offense gets opened up a little bit. I'm going Stafford. What about you?
I want to have fun and go Willis today.
Have a little fun, baby.
Sarah Riley, half PPR, start 2, Amon-Ra, Higgins, Swift, Ayuk, Davis. Jeez.
Sarah always brings these types of questions. I'm just like, how the hell do you have a team like this? I'm going to go Higgins and St. Brown, the first 2 here. And I mean, I love all of these options. She got ETN. Love to see that. So you're already in good shape. Walker and Jefferson, I agree, cannot be benched. So I'm going to go St. Brown and Higgins, though. No Jamar Chase. Like, Higgins is just a monster. And St. Brown, I guess St. Brown's maybe a little risky with the concussion. So if you wanted to go to, like, Daddy Davis instead, I wouldn't hate that. I personally have St. Brown higher. And I have leagues where I have both him and Davis starting. So I guess with Etienne already kind of lighting it up for you, maybe you do go Davis and just have like the guy that you know is good to go. I don't know though. I think St. Brown's gonna have a huge day today. I'm gonna go St. Brown and Higgins. Like that's how I feel. Like, you know, I don't want to keep overthinking.
I want to see Higgins as a receiver one though, with no chase.
He's insane. Like he's gonna light it up.
Manalakos, here it is, the grossest question I ever hope to ask. I'm overthinking to be tempted by James Cook over AJ Dillon.
Honestly, no. Like it's not. It is a little bit of a galaxy brain, but what has Dillon done lately to say he doesn't warrant being benched for somebody else? Now, does James Cook warrant benching him? No. But I did talk about this with the Truth and on my waiver wire show. We see this all the time where out of a bye, rookies just randomly start getting used, and especially out of the backfield. Cook, you know, they had Zach Moss, a healthy scratch last week. So I really like stashing James Cook tonight, rather. Like if you have bench trash to cut and you want to get ahead, like that's the perfect kind of guy to add before Sunday night kicks off tonight is James Cook, just to see what he does. See if there is a post bye week rookie bump here. Decent chance there's not, but maybe there is. I still wouldn't start Cook over Dillon because, I mean, what does Cook have, like 4 touches on the year? But I wouldn't really want to start either of these guys. So, like, is there – I mean, I know Wandale's probably not out there anymore, but I'm trying to think of, like, any Hail Marys that have kind of emerged today. Wandale would be my number one. I'm looking at through my rankings, like Alec Pierce get dropped. Zay Jones would have already played. I don't even know how he's doing anyways. Van Jefferson, maybe you go Van Jefferson over either of these guys and, like, hope he gets deep. He's out there in about 10%. I mean, he's only rostered about 10% right now. I'd probably rather just take the chance on a grenade from Stafford later than wait for either of these running backs. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I try to stay away from this. Actually, I just saw a tweet from Jay Glazer. The Bills called the Saints about Kamara this week, but were rebuffed.
Oh, my God. Kamara and
that
that
seems like Buffalo appears to be in the running back market before Tuesday's deadline.
Yeah, so that probably doesn't bode all that well for James Cook because if they felt great about him and were planning to give him some huge bye-week bump, they probably wouldn't be calling around for the best running backs like Alvin Kamara. That would be nuts. Whew. So I would say if you can get a grenade to Van Jefferson in there instead, go that route. If you have to go one of these two backs, you got to go for Dillon. You know he at least has somewhat of a role, whereas we just don't know what James Cook's going to do at all, if he's even going to do anything.
Giuseppe, good morning, fellas. Goff or Stafford? Also, Brandon Cooks or Hopkins.
I'm going to go Goff over Stafford, and I guess Cooks over Hawkinson. I mean, I don't know. I don't like either, but they might showcase Cooks to get a nice little trade for him today, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you. Schultz or Pitts?
Schultz. Fuck Pitts. No way.
I'm still starting Pitts in the league because there's nothing on the waiver wire. I just don't even care anymore.
You just like me.
I just expect like 2 points. I just calculate that into my total. Pick 2 out of Ayuk, Gabe, or Devonta. So
I would go.
Sit Devonta, I guess.
I think I said Devonta here. Yeah, and man, I love all those options, but yeah, I'm gonna go Ayuk and Gabe there.
G Money, pick 1: Rodgers, Goff, or Dalton.
I'm gonna go Goff. I like Goff today. I think that game shoots out.
Campanelli, Schultz, or Tunyon?
Schultz.
Jeremiah, Higbee, or Goddard?
Goddard. Yeah, we got that one in the call-in.
CDA, must drop one of these this week. Robinson or Elijah. Hoping I don't drop more and he gets traded to the Packers or something.
I know. I have Elijah Moore stacked for that exact reason. I really don't think he gets moved. It sounds like the team is pretty adamant they're going to hold on to him. I think Sal's exact quote was like, we can't move him. I mean, you sure could. You can't move a guy that you're targeting twice a week. Oh, how would you ever survive without it? I'm holding on to Moore until next Tuesday, and if he doesn't get traded, I'm sending him on his way.
Yeah, agreed.
It does suck though, like because Allen Robinson just got going. Here's how I play this one, CDA. Can you cut your kicker for now? Does your league allow that type of roster churn? Because I'd like to see A-Rob again today. He had his best week since week 2 rather, last week. Looked like he finally was getting involved at different layers of the field. So I kind of like A-Rob just to see what he does. I want to see what Moore does. Like, do they actually just force feed him? And then, if you gather that info, maybe A-Rob is just completely phased out yet again. Easy cut. Maybe Elijah Moore like has a monster day and it's easy hold. This was one where I'd like to get a little more information and then pick up like Cade York for Monday Night Football kicker, or Crosby, or if Bass is somehow out there, something like that. That's how I would approach a situation if your league allows it. If not, I probably drop A-Rob.
We drop both.
Yeah.
Giuseppe Russo, Brandon Cooks, Drake London, or Wandale.
Broncos just score?
Yeah. Latavius Murray.
Fucking come on. I hate Sutton. Ugh.
He sucks.
I'm gonna go Wandale here for a full PPR league.
Giuseppe, Najee, Monty, Drake London, or Wandale. Pick one of these.
1.8. I fucking hate Sutton. Is the game tied, or is that like to take the lead?
No, 21-17, a minute 40 left.
Oh, so Sutton's not going to get anything else.
No.
Yay. All right. All righty. Oh, yeah, we just answered that one, right? Oh, no, that's a different one. Giuseppe, Jesus, how many fucking questions? I love it.
Najee, Monty, London, Wandale. Pick one.
I kind of like Wandale. I mean, I like Najee there too, but they could get swallowed completely. Is it crazy to go Wandale over Najee?
I was going to say Wandale.
Yeah? All right. Lock him in.
Grind, don't stop. Gesicki or Hurst?
Good to see you, Grind. I'm going to go Hurst there. I feel pretty good about him with no chase.
Roth. Bucks need to play White. I agree.
You know how I feel about that. Absolutely agreed.
Tom said, come for the fancy talk, be stay for CJ showing some hauntingly manly trust.
Hauntingly manly. That's exactly how I would describe that outfit. Hauntingly manly, yes.
Sleepy refresh. Garrett Wilson, Brian Robinson, David Montgomery, London, Wandale. Pick two.
All righty. Not Wilson, not Garrett. I don't love Montgomery this week either.
I kind of like Robinson, Wandale.
I'm same agreement there. Full PPR. I think Wandale gets his 8 or so catches. Robinson versus Montgomery's tricky, but Robinson's the one getting fed right now.
Khalil Herbert's snaps are going up.
They are. I'm worried for Montgomery. Yeah, I'm going to go the same. I agree. Drake. I wish it was a few weeks ago. Drake would be the easy. Like we don't have to ask questions about Drake, but that offense is just so putrid and so like stubbornly run heavy. So yeah, I'm there.
Lawrence picked off. Sick play. I think it was sick, maybe. So Tony, good morning, fellas. PPR, Brian Robinson or Henderson. And then Pitts or pick up Moreau.
I'm going to go Henderson.
Bryant Moreau.
I think Bryant must be Harrison Bryant and then Foster Moreau. Or the made-up character of Bryant. Anything is going to score more than Pitts. Even Bryant Moreau, who doesn't exist, will probably do better than Pitts today. I'm going to go Henderson slightly over B-Rob. And then Bryant, I would go Pitts over those other guys. Like, now we're talking real desperation. If you really want somebody other than that, Tony, I would go Harrison Bryant. But I'm going to go Henderson. I'm going to go Pitts. What about you?
I'm keeping Pitts just because I'm going to keep him on my roster the entire year. And then Henderson, just better offense, better carries.
Yeah.
Van Deventer, pick two, flex PPR, Cooks, Ayuk, Henderson, Foreman.
I'm going to go Ayuk, and Henderson versus Foreman's tough. Probably Henderson, though. Better offense, similar workloads.
Mm-hmm. Eric Smith just traded for JT and Hawk. Gave away Pearson Lamb. This is a do or die for my 2-5 team.
Good luck. I would have probably taken that. Like Damian Pierce and Lamb. I don't know about that actually. If it's Alex Pierce, then it's a great deal. If it's Damian Pierce, I'm a little bit hesitant to endorse that one. Yeah. But hey, best of luck, Eric. Maybe JT turns it around and regains the reason he was the number one pick. Could happen with Ellinger, commitment to the run, cut back lanes, all that good stuff. It is 12:25, folks. I'm going to go into rapid fire mode, CJ, just because I got to get my shit ready. I have a bunch of lineups all in flux right now after the wedding. I have not even looked at my stuff. So, Wolfpack, we're going rapid fire. As I get ready to gear this up, one last plea for those thumbs up. Come on, we got about 30, 35 of you in here. Light show today. Not sure what's going on, but hey, doesn't matter but shares, likes, retweets. Get those questions in, as Jeffy says. Like and share, y'all. Indeed. Eric Smith, need Lions. I think that's definitely a high-scoring affair today. I feel good about that. What do you think of trading Lockett for Dillon? My other wide receivers are Higgins, Waddle, Amon-Ra, and Jefferson. You have an absolute monster wide receiver core, but Dillon is kind of trash. Like, he's just a handcuff at this point. So I'm not opposed to trading Lockett. I would just try to get a lot more than Dillon. Like, can you package your running back and Lockett to then get a much significant upgrade? Like, Dillon's not doing much for you unless Jones gets hurt, in which case he would absolutely be great, but that's giving up a lot right now. Muth or Hurst? I'm going to go Muth, Roman, but it's close now with him hurt. Fatty Mateo, 20-point underdog. Thanks for the good to note. Wide receiver 2 and flex. Boyd, DK, Lockett, and Samuel. I'm going to go Boyd and Lockett there and just hope for a couple bombs. But I like Boyd's chances with no Jamar Chase. Malik Willis or Daniel Jones for Maurice Jones. I'm going to go Danny J. Both have big rushing upside. Danny J's just been getting it done all year, so let's go with him. Full PPR, Kittle or Higbee. Got to go Kittle there, Fatty Mateo, especially with no Deebo. He's a smash. He averages over 20 fantasy points a game with no Deebo in the lineup. Jeremiah Moore. Kevin, I'd go Wandale, Henderson, and Pittman. There you go. Answering the super chats. I love that, the chat getting involved together. Logan Thomas or A.J. Dillon. Oh, God. A.J. Dillon, I guess. Ugh. Looks like we're all on the same page. Sounds like it. Marquise Goodwin over DK. I don't know if I could do that with DK actually active today. Rest of season, Gibson or Swift. Swift, definitely, Kyle. Van Jefferson or Garrett. I don't think I trust Garrett Wilson ever. So Van. Irv Smith or Schultz. Give me Schultz very slightly. Frazier from across the pond. Stream this week, PPR for Ryan Higgs. Mac Hollinsworth, a DFS look. It's a punt, but I don't know if I love it. If I'm punting receiver, I mean, Wandale at 4,700 is about the cheapest I'll go. Otherwise, I kind of like the mid-range a lot this week. Malik Willis or Daniel Jones. We're going Danny Jones. The Wolf, the Pasture, the Queso. What an officiant. Thank you, Willard. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the ceremony there. Flex, Najee Harris or Brandon Ayuk. I'm going Brandon Ayuk there, Dame Roach. Harrison Bryant or A.J. Dillon. Harrison Bryant, I guess, for the touchdown. I don't know. I just don't trust A.J. Dillon at all. Darius Slayton or Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman. I know this quarterback change is scary, but Slayton. Would you start Gibson or Dillon? Gibson there, Austin Forrester, but I don't like either. CJ needs to sign the onesie and auction it. You could definitely make some money. There you go. They'll go out in RSJ Folklore. We'll sell that one for big bucks someday. With Waller out, I'm just picturing like Denny Jennings and David in like a bidding war for the onesie.
No, it'd be Thompson.
With Waller out, would you consider starting Foster Moreau over Kyle Pitts? No. You can probably drop Pitts, but not for Foster Moreau. I'm going Schultz over Irv Smith. Standard, actually. I'm going to go for the touchdown of Irv Smith. Never mind. Tim, I have Jacobs, Pollard, Diggs, Higgins playing, but need either Olave or K9 in the flex. Is K9 Kenneth Walker?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, someone said that should be his nickname. I kind of love it.
I do. I like that, too. I got to go K9 there. I'm a huge Kenneth Walker fan, and I love Olave, too. But I'd have all those guys above Olave today. So, yeah, I guess that's one of the few times you can bench Olave, Tim. What a roster. Holy shit. Taysom Hill or Juwan Johnson. Give me Taysom. Big touchdown upside. Brent Estrella. Montgomery, M. Carter, T. Boyd. Pick one, full PPR. I'm going to go Boyd there, especially in the full PPR settings. Jose, Atlanta, Cincy, or Rams. I like the Rams a lot today, actually. I think their defense is going to have a big one. B. Cooks, Van Jefferson, Algier, or Campbell. Cooks. Knox or Tunyon. Knox, Denny Jennings. Kareem Hunt or Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson for me, Brent. Happy Sunday to you, Curving Lizard. What two would you take? Gabe Davis, Ayuk, or DJ Moore? I'm going to bench DJ Moore, and I really like him today, but I just like those other two options even more, Curving. Pick 3 for Taylor Malone. CMC, Damian Pierce, Ken Walker, Mixon. Damn. I got a deep running back thanks to you guys. That is a insane running back core right there. I think I'm benching Mixon. I don't know. I'm definitely playing CMC, and I'm definitely playing Walker. Mixon gets Cleveland, though. That's a horrible run defense. I guess maybe Pierce gets the bench. I don't know, CJ. What do you think for our boy Taylor here with these 4 running backs?
Pick 3, CMC, Walker, Mixon. I'd probably go CMC, Mixon, Walker.
Yeah, I guess Pierce is finding the bench here.
Without
Man.
Chase, I think Mixon maybe a few more carries, maybe a few more catches.
And Cleveland's like the worst run defense in the league too. So great spot for Mixon. So yeah, we're benching Pierce there. Oh boy. Marcos Valdez-Scantling, Schultz, Harrison Bryant, or Irv Smith. I'm going to go Schultz there for sure. Heineke's going off today. Watch out for our man, the bus. I mean, he got the win last week. Now he's facing the pathetic Colts, so maybe he goes off again. But fantasy-wise, I'm not trusting him ever. Mike Clay, London, DPJ, Elijah Moore, Rondale Moore. Start one, drop one. Leaning DPJ to start like his floor, and I'm projected to win. Need to drop one for a kicker. See, I'll drop Rondale Moore then. If you really like DPJ and you want to play him, then Rondale Moore is the first one getting cut. For me, I'm cutting DPJ, but I do like his upside when Watson comes back. I think here I'm starting London. This is one where it's like I hate how low the floor has become for London, but I still like that ceiling. And yeah, DPJ's been kind of nice these last couple weeks, but I don't know. I don't feel great about that. So I'd probably cut DPJ, but if you want to hold him, then Rondale Moore is my next cut. Actually, Rondale Moore stinks. You can cut him. But I'm going to go Drake London there, Mike Clay. Rest of the season, Lazard or Dubs? Lazard, Denny Jennings. I think Rogers just hates Dubs right now. Muth or Higbee? I'm going to go Higbee very slightly, though. Kyle, good question. That's a tough one. Projected to beat him by a lot more after ET and TD. Do I roll the dice? You could potentially roll the dice with no kicker. And then if it allows you to pick one up on like Monday and you play Cade York if you really need it type of thing, Mike. That's probably more so what I would do. Krana, what's up? Hope you're well. Hope you're well too. Which QB should I start? Dalton, Geno, or Sam? I'm going to go Geno there. Close with Dalton, though. W. Wolf, WCJ, appreciate the help. Absolutely, Y2J. Hopefully your head is done being scratched. It can only take so much scratching, Y2J. Thanks for tuning in, as always. Elijah Moore and Khalil Herbert. I'm going to go Khalil Herbert there. And the crying emojis are fair, but maybe he gets the hot hand and really rips it up. I had 40% of the snaps last week, the season high with Montgomery, so looking good. Should I drop Tony for James Cook or keep Tony? I think Tony's the higher upside stash of the two. PPR, Ayuk or Samuels, definitely Ayuk for me, Steven. And I'm going to go Ertz very slightly over Hurts. Lost B-Hall and Connor, tough, Eduardo. Because Eno's doing good. Barkley and Duvernay for Cup and Pickens. Ooh, nice. All right, good luck, Eduardo. Hurst, Taysom Hill, Freiermuth, or Schultz. I'm going to go for the upside of Taysom Hill in that case, Nicola. Even though Freiermuth's a nice floor play if you just want something safe. Who's my wide receiver one? A. Thielen or Wandale? I like Thielen. He's always a good touchdown bet, but I really do like Wandale. If it's full PPR, I think I actually go Wandale because I think he's going to have like 7 or 8 catches most week. I need massive help, guys. I lost B-Hall and Connor, but just doing fine with Eno, and a buddy sent me an unexpected trade of Barkley and Duvernay for Cup and Pickens. I don't know. There's not a question there, so I don't know what you're – Eduardo, okay, thanks for sharing. But I don't know if you have a question there, my man. Let me know. We're happy to help you if we can. Wolf, give me your favorite low ownership running back to test drive today. I love that idea, the bench tryout, the test drive. That's a good way to put it, test drive. I'm assuming you just want him on your bench. You just want to see what happens. I'll come back to James Cook. I think, the post-bye week bump could be good. I think stashing Dearness Johnson also makes sense, but you can wait till Monday night and cut whatever test drive you do today to pick up Dearness while we await the Kareem Hunt potential trade. I would say maybe Zamir White, like the way we've seen Jacobs using an absolute bell cow role. It gives you some hope that if something happened to Jacobs, maybe Zamir White would be used as a bell cow too. So he's another guy that you could potentially stash today. Niners or Jets defense? I'm going to go Niners. Yeah, it's defense. I don't know. It's always a toss-up, Y2J. Or B-Rob. I'm going to go Eno there, Austin Firster. Hayden Hurst or Pitts? I'm going to go Hayden Hurst. Some hard eyes for CJ from Denny Jennings. I knew Denny Jennings would appreciate it. A bit late this week. Michael Carter or Brandon Cooks? I'm going to go Michael Carter Apex. Pollard or Singletary? Oh, it's definitely Pollard today, Lermo. CJ, who wins World Series? Phillies or the cheating Trastros?
I mean, I've watched 3 pitches of baseball this year. So I'm going with the Phils. Why not? Bryce Harper.
Nice. We do have a super chat that just came in. Thank you so much, Matt B. Wandale Robinson, Dubes or London PPR? I like Wandale there. We've been recommending him a lot today. I just think the target share, again, 27.5% targets per route. Like that's top 10 in the league. He looks electric when he gets it. They're layup targets. So PPR, he's just going to keep getting those. Like, I just love that role. Whereas Dubes, you're hoping for the bomb. London, you're hoping for a bomb. Such low percentage. Like, if they hit, they hit. But man, I like Wandale. Just a nice, secure role there. You enjoy your Sunday as well, Denny Jennings. Thank you for being here, brother. My man, Chris, thanks for checking in. ETN, you've been praising him all year. You definitely can have your flowers here. He is a monster now that he's in this role. He's going to be a locked-in top 10 running back the rest of the season. It's awesome. He's an absolute stud. Michael Carter, Eno, PPR for MJK. I'm going to go Eno there. Did we get word yet? Is Daryl? Can you check for Daryl Williams, CJ?
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the last things we were waiting on. Not that it changes the answer. I'm still going to go Eno here, but it's just a matter of like Daryl Williams. We're talking about test driving running backs. It's another one that could be a potential stash and see what happens.
He is playing.
He's playing. There you go. Haven't got to ask, but how you feel about Tony? We talked about that a little earlier. Chris, I think it's a great stash. You know, why not see what happens? If anybody's going to squeeze something out of him, it's Andy Reid. Like, clearly he knows how to get the most out of his wide receivers, especially the short, little fast ones that are great after the catch. Like, it could be great. He could also just not ever touch the field and be hurt all year. But they gave up a third-round pick. Like, it's not insignificant draft capital going to him. So I'm very intrigued, Chris. I am. Definitely well worth the stash, as you say. Like, if the notification pops up, you snag him. I was unfortunately in a parent meeting at school, and I got out, and he was already picked up in most of my leagues afterwards. People are just so fast with it these days. It's tough to beat. You're welcome, Y2J. You're a legend for always being here. Naeem Hines or Robert Woods? Ew. Naeem Hines, I guess. I don't like any of it. Are you a cheating bastard? The Astros are a cheating bastard of the team. F you, Houston. All right.
Yeah, Denny may have a parade soon for the Phillies.
Yeah.
Two parades this year.
I hope so. Parade Denny Jennings would be some sort of I would just love to see that. I might go to the parade just to see Denny Jennings.
We need a call in from him during that.
Yeah, exactly. Traded Ertz, Boyd, and Woods for Olave and Ayuk. Jeez. What idiot did that with you, Austin? Well done. Absolutely fleeced him. Trade Montgomery and B-Rob for Amon-Ra. Yes, 100% Matt Feeney. I would absolutely do that. Fryermuth or Hurst, full PPR. Thank you for the super chat, Roman. I'm going to go Fry, but this is a close one because no Jamar Chase definitely does boost up all the pass catchers, but Fry is just like a PPR beast. I mean, you look at his game logs because we recommended him a lot here, so I just want to like confirm he's as good as I think he is. Yeah, 10 targets, 7 targets, 4 targets, 9 targets. Got hurt against Buffalo, only had 2 targets, and then 9 targets. So really monstered most of his weeks, 10 plus points in 4 of his 6 games played, and one of those ones again was an injury. So really 4 of the 5 games he's had 10 half PPR points. For full PPR he's had 12 or more in 4 of 5 weeks. So yeah, I feel good about Fryermuth, and Pickett likes him. Like, the target share has remained. So Denny, Roman, I'm gonna go Fryermuth there. Beers. Beers. Would you take the trade of Barkley for Cup? Okay, no problem, Eduardo. I didn't know if you'd done the deal and you're just telling us about it. Now it makes a little more sense. No apologies needed, Eduardo. This is a tough one. I'd probably in a vacuum rather have Cup though. He's a superstar, and Barkley, as great as he is, it's still a ticking time bomb, doesn't it feel like he's so damn good, but the injuries over the years.
It's all running backs. Like, I just don't trust anyone anymore.
Right. All running backs, including Barkley. So I'm going to go Cup. I'd rather have Cup there, unless I was really desperate for a running back, because they are in the same tier. Barkley's my running back 1 on the rest of the season, but I do have Cup as like my number 1 player rest of season too. You do got to be quick with it. I agree. Gallup, Renfro, or Reynolds, pick 2. Ooh, you got to have 2 of these? Oh, man. I'm going to bench Renfro there, Richard. Harrison Bryant, A.J. Dillon. I don't know, Bryant, I guess. Dodgers fans pulling for Philly. There you go. I think everybody's pulling for Philly other than, like, Astros fans themselves. Wolfpack, thank you so much for a highly engaging show. CJ, you going to give us a spin before we get off or what?
I guess. Why not?
Yeah, let's see it, baby.
Hold on 1 second. one of the better. I mean, no one else can go from a suit last night. at a wedding and to this onesie.
To a onesie. Make sure the folks can see you.
I know. No, I'm standing up.
Oh, yeah. Woo!
Oh my God.
Yeah. There you go, Wolfpack. If you can't win with that beautiful, beautiful imagery, I don't know what you can. So give us a thumbs up. Give us a heart for that beautiful display on your way out. Thank you again. Best of luck. The hard eyes are pouring in from the Wolfpack. You'll love to see it. I know Ben Thompson is just losing it over there. So awesome stuff, Wolfpack. Thank you again so much for being here on your Sunday. You have so many shows to choose. We're honored that you pick us. Ouch. I'm blind. I just want to say, I have so much to go figure out, but I just want to see what the comments are coming in from you. That was beautiful. Wolfpack, thank you again so much for spending your Sunday morning with us. Me and the Truth will be live later today. I think I actually got to talk to him, make sure he's still good. But either way, best of luck. Dominate week 8. Get what you need. Cheers, Wolfpack.
Everyone. See you guys.